Hello everyone, welcome back to Planet Coaster and welcome to the Smiler recreation. We are finally doing it in Planet Coaster. A lot of you have been asking me to do this recreation since I first did Stealth. People have been asking me to do Smiler, and it's finally here. First day of 2020, so we are doing this. I think this video might actually be going up before 2020, I don't actually know. I mean, I'm planning to put it up for 2020, but who knows. If it's up before 2020, then I guess it's not New Year yet. But anyway, let's get on with it. So as you saw there from the opening cinematics, the track is done, and this episode is mainly going, well, I say mainly, it is just the track. It's just going to be the track this episode. No scenery, no terraining whatsoever, simply just the track. And we're starting here with the indoor hardline roll, my personal favourite on the Smiler. This is the best element on the ride in my opinion. After this it's just a bit shit really, but yeah, this is my favourite element on the entire thing, and that's purely because of the hang time it gives. The hang time on this inversion is amazing, especially when your restraint is really loose. You get some fantastic hang time, and it's such a slow inversion as well. I love slow inversions because you actually get to see that you're upside down, whereas with fast inversions, you know, it happens too quickly and you can't realise, you can't see that you're upside down, which is why most inversions don't really feel like you're actually going upside down, because they're just too quick, aren't they? So yeah, so we've done that indoor high roll. It was relatively easy to do. I didn't use the 4-meter method for the entire track. I have been using the autocomplete tool quite a bit, but I do go back to that indoor hardline roll and use the autocomplete method once again. I was trying to get this lift hill lined up perfectly with plans. That's the first time I've done these type of plans. However, I'm only using them for the track. I'm not using them for the scenery or the building whatsoever, because in terms of the building and the queue line and all that, these plans aren't accurate. I'll talk more about that a bit later on, but yeah, so I was like, alright, let's try and get this lift hill aligned. Then I realised, oh hang on, it's literally just 45 degrees. Smiler's lift hill is just the most simple and easy lift hill ever. It's a simple 45 degree lift hill exact, which is just fantastic. Actually, I don't think it's exactly 45 degrees, but it basically is. I thought, shut up, right, I forgot to put it on silent. Sorry about that, but yeah, Smiler's lift hill is basically 45 degrees. You see me there doing the first drop, and the downward corkscrew is already complete. I have edited that part out because the corkscrew I just did was, well, very wrong. So I did go back and fix that. The one you saw in the cinematic is the fixed version, what it's supposed to look like. Before that, it was quite flat and a bit horrible looking basically. So yeah, that's why that was edited out, because there's no point in putting it in the video. So starting the 2 dive loops down on the Smiler, and this one I don't like the shaping of it. I don't know why, it's just the fact that it doesn't cross over itself doesn't look quite right for a dive loop, if you get what I mean. Because normally a dive loop, it dives and crosses back over itself underneath, but with this one it doesn't, and it's just a bit weird looking. I don't know why, I just find it weird looking. So yeah, using the 4-meter smoothing method once again, it's just so easy to use 4-meter. Well, it is for me. I literally use 4-meter on every single coaster I do, unless it's just a big hypercoaster, and there's no need to do 4-meter method on hypercoasters because they're just so big and tall, so yeah, it's pointless doing 4-meter on those. But yeah, let's get back on the subject of the plans whilst I'm doing these dive loops. What I was saying about the plans about not being accurate is they're not accurate. The building is wrong for the maintenance building, that's wrong. The correction block building is wrong. The queue line is wrong. Basically everything apart from the majority of the track layout is wrong. Even parts of the track layout is wrong. That the corkscrew going into the vertical lift block section, that's wrong. Apparently it's sort of an S-shape corkscrew instead of the S-curve. Oh, that doesn't make sense. It's an S-shaped corkscrew instead of like the more gradual in and out corkscrew I had on those plans. You see the corkscrew down the red lines, it's not that, it's more of an S shape. So yeah, did fix that of course, because I don't want it to be inaccurate. And also thank you for this stance on Bro Nation He's been helping out quite a bit with Smiler. He's been critiquing the track layout quite a bit, which has helped a lot, because honestly I didn't realise the track was wrong before he pointed it out. So big thanks to Distance, and he's also sent me that spreadsheet of all the heights and everything of different parts of the track, and that's helped out tremendously. So Distance, if you're watching this, thank you very much for that. And yeah, I might actually leave, not might, but yeah, I will leave a link to his channel. I think he still has a channel, but yeah, he does some Planet Coaster stuff as well. So finish the dive loops here. Not gonna do the smoothing on camera because the smoothing is just stupid. Well, stupid for me. It's kind of boring. You don't want to watch the smoothing now, do you? Also, I was talking about the plans, right? So on the plans, the queue line starts where the correction block is now. That's the entrance of the ride, and the main entrance plaza, they had an entrance plaza for the ride underneath the Cobra and the batwing, and it's crazy how much the plans have changed. And they were submitted in 2012, the year that whilst they were constructing the Smiler. They submitted the plans in 2012 just before they started construction, and the second inversion, the downward corkscrew, isn't in the plans, and the other downward corkscrew on the other side also isn't in the plans. So all the no limits recreations of Seek Weapon 7 before it actually got built didn't have those inversions in there, and it's so interesting to see that, because Alton Towers were very, very secret about this having 14 inversions, because of course they're going to be secret. They don't want other parks knowing that they're going to have 14 inversions, because that might encourage other parks to break it. You know, the Smiler only had the record for a year and then another park broke it. They don't want that to happen, but well, Smiler's still got his record, which is quite good. They weren't very secret about Wicker Man though, weren't they? We all knew the name, we all knew the theme, we all basically knew the exact ride completely. Well, apart from the lift hill, a lot of people were thinking the lift hill would be a launch. Yeah, that happened. People thought the lift hill would be a launch on Wicker Man. But anyway, let's get back into the Smiler. So I've done quite a bit. I edited out the batwing purely because the batwing took me 4 hours. I'm not joking. That batwing is the stupidest thing I have ever had to construct in Planet Coaster. That includes scenery and buildings, terrain. That batwing was so tedious and difficult to get the shaping right, I was actually annoyed with it. And when I finished it, I was like, thank God it's finally finished, because that batwing is so annoying, and it's partly because of Planet Coaster's just utterly stupid coaster builder, because the coaster builder doesn't allow certain shapes of track, and eventually it will go track limits exceeded, and the amount of times that happened, honestly, I just wanted to give up there, but kept going, and yeah, it turned out okay actually. And I really don't want to go back and do it again, so please don't say it's wrong in the comments, and I know it's not wrong because I looked at quite a lot of images of Smiler and the shaping of it is good. So starting the downward corkscrew right here, and I hate this downward corkscrew. I really hate it because it's so just gradual, you get what I mean? And there's no point in it being this gradual if you don't get any hang time from it. You don't get hang time from its inversion, so why is it a gradual inversion? It should just be a quick snappy one, like the one on the other side. It's just annoying how gradual that downward corkscrew is. When you got the one on the other side, it's incredibly snappy. But yeah, just trying to get the shaping of this one just right, because, well, as you can see, I didn't get it right there, but I think after a few tries, I did get the shaping of it just about right. And yeah, so then starting the Sea Serpent roll, which is actually quite a rare element on Smiler. I had no clue Sea Serpent rolls were a rare element, but apparently they are. There's only 5 other Sea Serpent rolls in the world, and I think one of them's on Medusa. Is it Medusa at Discovery Kingdom? No idea where the other ones are. Actually no, they're on the Rock and Roller Coasters, aren't they? So one in Disney World, Disneyland, Paris. Well, let's say no, the coaster's still going to be there, isn't it? It's going to say, yeah. So one in Disneyland Paris is still there, just won't be Rock and Roller Coaster, it'll be the Iron Man roller coaster, I think. So, yeah. And the 5th one, I think, is at Wallaby on Express platform. Is it 13 or 15? I don't actually know, just say Express. But yeah, those are the 5 sea serpent rolls, and I had no idea they were a rare element, so it's quite interesting, really. Here I'm starting the Cobra roll, and I did cut out quite a few parts purely because it just took too long and it was boring to watch, because of course it was. And also this video does need to be between 15 to 20 minutes, so we do need to get the time down. But yeah, this Cobra roll, I actually went back after this recording and just completely did the autocomplete method on this, because it turns out the autocomplete method really helped me with this Cobra roll. This Cobra roll was quite annoying to do because it's not shaped like your average Cobra roll. It's very stretched out, this one, and do you understand what I mean, Ryan, when it says stretched out? Also, I do want to go back and edit it quite a bit for the exit. I want to get that jolt on the exit in. For those of you who've ridden the Smiler, you would know there is a humongous jolt on the exit of that Cobra roll. And it's not in the train, it's just in the profiling of the track. I don't know how Gerstlauer mine is. Why should I say? I don't know how Gerstlauer managed it. It's Gerstlauer, of course they did it. Gerstlauer can never make a nice smooth coaster, can they? But yeah, there's a massive jolt on that exit of the Cobra roll, so I do want to go back and get that in. But yeah, done the Cobra roll now, and then we're going to be starting the final 2 inversions, the Heartline roll and the corkscrew. That corkscrew, the final inversion, is such a weird one as well. There is a lot of weird inversions on Smiler that you consider normal standard elements, a corkscrew, a Cobra roll, you know, normal standard elements, but that final corkscrew on Smiler is shaped so weirdly. It's like a flattened corkscrew. It literally is a flattened corkscrew. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, but it just looks so weird. It's good to look at, to be honest. The aesthetics of it are really like pleasing, the way the train goes through as well, but it's just a weird looking inversion. It's not your standard corkscrew. So yeah, done that Heartline roll, edited that part out because I needed to get the shaping right, and it took me quite a few attempts, so might as well edit that out. And now we're starting this really flattened corkscrew. So you might be noticing, hang on, that's not flattened. Don't worry, I do go back and edit the track after I've actually placed it down, because that actually helps the Planet Coaster. If you're doing the 4-meter method, don't always try to get the track shaping completely correct whilst actually building the track. Once you've done it, go back, highlight the track, and you can have your edit tools, and you can change the shaping of it by using the edit tools. And they are quite helpful. They can't do everything, they can't fix everything, but sometimes they can be very helpful to use, so I do recommend doing that quite a lot. Just doing the final turnaround into the brake run here, and it is quite an underwhelming end to the Smiler. I think that they could easily add in a few extra inversions into this turnaround. I don't know, maybe a miniature horseshoe roll? Look, it's right, I'm just saying, if Smiler's record ever gets beaten, there are 4 places where they can add more inversions. Horseshoe roll at the end, or a tiny little Cobra roll, who knows, a tinsy tiny little one, because of course the train doesn't have a lot of speed. And don't take this seriously, don't get triggered over this speculation because it's all a joke. I'm actually joking here. And also convert the 2 airtime hills into 0G rolls. There you go. So if Smiler's record ever gets broken, there you go. Alton Towers, there's 4 places where you can add more inversions. So just send me a check in the mail. But yeah, just doing this final brake run, and I actually used the trim brakes for the actual brakes, and that's because the actual brakes on the Infinity Coaster train, the Infinity Coaster model I mean, in Planet Coaster, uses the same ones as the block section, and because of that they have drive tyres on there. Now why on earth they're drive tyres on friction brakes, who knows, but that is the end of the video. That's the end of the first episode of Smiler. Come back next week where we will be building the Marbleizer. So yes, thank you very much for watching, enjoy this final few cinematic shots, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.